Everyone, and welcome to the board meeting of Tax Increment Financing Reinvestment Zone. One Board of Directors regular meeting for March 26, 2025. Public comments?
No, sir.
Thank you. Next item is consider approval of the minutes from the meeting held on February 26, 2025. Were distributed. Anybody have any comments? I have a motion for approval. Second.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Now we're going to move to the regular agenda. And item number 2 is receive a current project updates and discuss possible future projects, including not limited to A, review of current projects under construction, B, review of projects in design, and C, review of future projects. Going to turn it over to our project chair, John Kiva.
Well, only 37 slides. How many slides we got?
37.
37 slides. So that'd be nice and short. Got a couple voting items. We're just gonna blow through these, just a couple quick updates on some projects. I was thinking on the way here that, it's really nice, whenever Adrian calls or whenever we've got a new project or anytime we're in a situation in the project group when we're needing some, how very quickly KPA and that group, I don't know if you all know that. This is real nice. I get to come in here, you zip through these slides and how good it looks, but I will tell you how quickly they respond and how professionally they allow us to look, and in these videos they do. So I'm just really thought for those that don't understand how much they put into it. Yes, they're paid for it and all that, but man, John on the spot and just do an incredible job for the project group. So just thought I'd tell you guys, if you ever wonder how did we make this look so good, so quick, and understand our projects, they do a heck of a job for us. They're nice to have a single source to go through. So you got 7 items we're going to be talking about. Well, first one's up in the industrial park. As you know, the summer it's been going on. Still got about another 12 to 14 months before this gets completed. Is this the remaining dollars left, right, David?
Yes, yeah, that's on the current
Well, on
financing
these
plan.
slides are just sort of showing what's still in the financing plan, and a really nice video for those who haven't gotten out and driven it. Just going past the old Elm Creek detention. To the left side, we're gonna be taking that knoll out right here, everything on the left side, and we did that change order. They're gonna be dropping that down, making that available for the city to sell. And you can really tell now that the bridge structure has really come along. That's on the backside. He's turned himself around and going the other direction again. Moves these forward so that they go fast, so that we don't waste a lot of time. But that whole bridge structure is in, sidewalls are in, really coming along now, taking shape. Huge drainage structure. They're at least across the rail, and then out to go land on the other side down there by site 64. I guess it just repeats itself. Any questions on that video? Any questions on that outer loop? Another great project, if you've been taking the time to go walk at it, which I would tell you to do, it has been moving so quickly that even this is, by the time you shoot it on a nice day and bring it to you, they've had such good weather. That whole intersection now that you're seeing that's the dirt on 4th Street is now almost totally complete. And I think they are very close to being ready to pave and move on down to the 4th Street. Getting that thing down.
I would agree with you that it's been moving really quickly. No matter of perspective.
We were catching momentum.
Moving faster than it was.
Yeah,
It's been very much.
It's moving fast. It's been a very long project. Garage has been sitting there complete almost a full year. So yes, it's slow, Bryn. I was doing the positive thing.
I'm just.
We had a slight slowdown when it was cold, so they couldn't pour concrete, so it had stopped where, I think for Bo, he's really happy this thing's moving along.
Oh, yeah.
Got himself a beautiful restaurant that you got a helicopter in on. This is just the other section that we'll be, working on. There is an agenda item on this, authorizing change order 7 for RT Snyder, and that is for us. I spent a lot of time on this before, and that is to go ahead and get ourselves down to, the end, 4th Street, getting that whole project going. So that is an item, number 7. I don't know if you want to vote on this or you want to
Just
wait.
go through the
till
whole
the
thing
end.
and then we'll go through all of them.
In a little video rather than just a picture of the project. You can see from here, you got a little bit of the concrete on the intersection. That intersection, if you go walk it right now, is actually all the pavers are in, pretty much complete. I believe the Han and the Arcadia and the Sears, they're all ready to open once you're done too, aren't they? Pretty close.
Yes, they got a couple of inspections left to get done, and they have actually 3 tenants that are supposed to come in April 1st. And we didn't have rain scheduled for the end of the week, we would actually pave 2nd and or 4th and Central, and that would complete that whole section for the garage all the way over. We had to push that to Wednesday because we certainly don't want to prime that road, get a bunch of rain and all the beautiful concrete work and brick pavers, we mess it up with prime underneath on that base. So next Wednesday, we will pave 4th and Central, and that'll all be paved and complete, including all the brick pavers.
Really worth taking a walk if you get a chance and to get a feel, and it's gonna be nice to get that. I'm repeating, but it'll be nice to get, our 4th Street and then bring ourselves back around on Avenue A like we presented on that last meeting. That'll be a great project. This is also moving along. The Wright Builders has this project. They've got most of the destruction done and have really started on foundations and getting all their concrete work. Really good project. Looking forward to opening this project up too. You remember this, what it's gonna look like? Still one thing just to talk about we haven't is that mural. I think that's in the budget and we're gonna do that, but we really need to take a look at that wall.
Good.
If we're prepping that, that's about the only thing that wasn't in the scope of work. And I don't know if we want to paint that mural over without it being done. Somebody got to remind me of that. David, both of you guys, take a look at that. We've talked about it. There's gonna be no reason to put that up and sorry, little tangent. Again, gonna be another good addition to downtown and the whole Santa Fe Trail. These are the dollars we got in there. Really looking to have it completed this fall.
John, we had our inaugural Petals and Pints event downtown Saturday, and it was in this area along the trail, and it was really well attended. And I think when we have this asset completed, it's gonna be just that much better. Really nice.
Gonna
Thank
be
y'all
a-
for all the hard work.
There'll be some pressure on us as a city to activate each one of these. When you're thinking about it, you got, the Santa Fe Plaza happening, you got a lot of people down, but trying to schedule 3 or 4 events, because that's really what you want to be able to do is have an event in each one they really look forward to. And that cannot be easy to coordinate that many venues and have them all alive. This actual picture of the video of the area, so you can see that it's really coming along. Every time we take down one thing and get ready to make it look good, you look in the background, you see them silos, and you wonder, well, what can we do to those just to bring those alive a little bit? That's was mentioned in a number of your consultants' work.
McKinney's painted a really cool mural on very similar silos in their downtown area. So I do think there's some,
Something
opportunities if we,
Still owned by Jupi.
yes, Darren.
Everything going good on this project too, Steve?
Mhm. That's all working along just fine. It's been a challenge getting out of the ground and that sort of thing, but I think we're about there now. And everything's ready to go.
Any questions on that? Another project, if you haven't gotten the opportunity to go drive it, is Lorraine Drive. I always drive these. I don't know what the contractors think, but it's a good looking project on Lorraine Drive. really got most of their underground in. This coming along really, really good too. You can see all the inlet structures they're in, drainage is in. The project group, and I think I mentioned this in our last meeting, we're really taking a look at the other end of this now, Bob White, and determining how we can get ourselves back from this intersection to I-14. We really need to get some circulation. You can get around once you get into Bob White, but it'd be nice to connect this to over to I-14. Bo and I drove that the other day in circles and trying to determine what made sense. Good video, good project. Next is over in the Crossroads Park. I think we had voted the last time to accept the bid that the bidder that bid this found out they had a typo in their bid and pulled their bid. So I think we are having to vote on another one there, right?
This is just our first time to consider it.
Oh, it's this first time. Wow.
Yes, yes. They pulled the bid.
We pulled before we voted on it. Geez, I have slept since then. Seems like we voted on it. Anyway, we're gonna go with DJ Hansen Construction on this. Which one pulled their bid? Sorry.
So yeah, Terrasol, we do these with an Excel spreadsheet. We lock them. So really all they have to do is enter their unit price, but they had a typo in their entering of their unit price and they coordinated that with us and the city utility department. And we allowed them to pull that bid. And they were the low bidder. MIM Site Work did not turn in all the required documents. So that made them an unresponsive bidder. They didn't submit a bid bond. So then we had to move to DJ Hansen Construction, which was number 3, but we're still considerably less than our OPC and the RZ budget.
Which you can see that is 316.4, so we're still under budget. And that will be a voting item, number 6.
I think that's gonna make a big difference. I'm
Yeah.
glad we're doing that.
That's a good number too, for
Oh, yeah.
getting that done. The other item is, and I think I brought this up in our last meeting too, we have phase 1 of Old Howard. The plans have been handed in, I believe a 90% set. We're really pushing to get the second phase done. Now that we have definitely bought the property to the north so that we can connect over there in 1237. We just want to make sure that these plans are on the shelf, ready to go if available dollars come, and really sort of take care of a pretty dangerous intersection there at the railroad track in 1237. So by pulling this away, it'll give us a good back door out of our industrial and logistics park. So it's, you know, we're really voting on the design work, which you can see at the bottom is $1,558,900. In our financing line, we had 1.758, so it is under that budget. You can see that the construction for this project would be $18,500,000. So we don't have that in our financing plan yet, as far as funded, but are looking to do that if some of the land sales and other projects come forward. So it'd be a really good project to push forward if everything aligns with this. And one of the last, again, we had talked about this one also, both sections of Blackland. The section to the left goes through the USA property, and it will take a Congress to work with us. We got to work with John Carter's office to see if they will do a easement swap and allow us to get an easement through there. They don't usually sell property. It's a very hard thing to get them to do anything. We ran into that on Veterans Boulevard. It takes a little bit of work, and so best thing to do is to be able to hand this to John Carter's office and work with his delegation to see if they will allow just almost an equal easement swap And makes no sense to get that connection done without knowing for sure how we would then go and connect into I-14. So we just got David doing the work over on that to at least know that we know what it will take to complete that road section from really 31st Street or 5th Street all the way over to I-14. That is also a voting item. We wanted to do the initial design work for these two for $200,000. You can see it'd be a $9 million project, but again, we would have to get all our right of ways, get all the approvals through the USA to get this done. So we're just pushing this project to see if we can get it started.
But that was a project in our master plan group that, TechStop was excited about.
Yeah.
The other part of it. So I mean, there's probably some grant and some other funding sources.
But
But yeah,
technically, if you get that, you design that intersection there, we'll make sure it's part of I-14.
Right.
That intersection with 95 and I-14 it's going to be a lot of pressure, and right now Barnhart Road is going to be mainly what would be feeding that over. And if with this having 4 lanes and an added intersection, and what we're not really showing is where we're connecting, that goes all the way over to White Tube. So this really opens up that whole side of southeast side. So it's an important thing I think for growth in that area. I think it's also, if you're looking at this drawing, you can see that that's the elementary for TISD, and next to that is where they're going to build their middle school. So you're really going to want to be able to feed this area by 2 or 3 directions because the amount of traffic that'll be there. So I think it's timely for us to get out in front of it.
Those have been on the board for a while, know how important that is to go out there and do these preliminary designs. North of Temple, where the going right now, the connection to, that was all done and programmed in probably 15 years ago. And then TechStop put it as part of the expansion. Same way down south where we're connecting on the outer loop, programming that, designing that, and then it becomes a TechStop project when they build it. So it saves us, literally tens of millions of dollars as a community.
So that's the 2 agenda items, 4 and 5, 2 different projects. You got the left and the right, and so you got two items on that, and that's all we have. Answer any questions? I think the next meeting, if the chairman, if it's okay with you, that made the project group could do just concentrate on the master plan and just do an overview and sort of begin to show everybody where we're heading so that you're not left in the dark. And
That could be great.
so we'll probably do that at the next meeting, the project group, if that's okay with you.
You bet. Anybody have any questions? Not, we'll start reading in the voting items, starting with number 3. Consider recommendation of the council authorize professional services agreement with Casper Patrick subject to LP for professional services required for Old Howard Road Phase 2 drainage and water line improvement design in the estimated amount of $1,558,900. Have a motion? Motion by Bo. Second? Second by Steve. Any discussion? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 4, consider recommendation to the city council to authorize a professional service agreement for professional services required for Blackland Road, State Highway 95 to I-14, in the estimated amount of $200,000. Motion? Motion? Second by Bo. Any discussion? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Motion carries. Item number 5, consider recommendation of city council to authorize professional services agreement, Casper and Patrick Associates LP for 30% design services required for a Black Land Road swap, estimated amount of $197,400. Motion approval. Second? Second. Tyler, thank you. Any discussion? Not all in favor, please say aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, item number 6, consider recommendation, city council to authorize a construction contract with DJ Hanson Construction Corporation of Bynum for the clearing and grubbing of trees and debris across Crossroad Park in the estimated amount of $238,690. Motion approved. Second?
Second.
Second, thank you. Any discussion? Not, all in favor, please say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 7, consider recommendation, city council authorizing change order number 7 to a construction contract with RT Schneider Construction Company Limited of Belton for the downtown city center phase 2 project and the estimated amount of $348,952.20. Motion, please. Motion approved. Second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, those are voting items. The next item is your project update from PDC. Adrian is out of town and we won't have one, but we will have a presentation update from the city manager.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to give you all an update on the next couple of bond issuances that the city is preparing for. We have an upcoming CO bond issuance and a utility revenue bond issuance that we will be, we're heading towards our May 15th city council meeting, tracking for those items. So I wanted to give you a preview of what will be included in those. There's really 3 primary sections. We have about $45 million planned for facilities and equipment, which is very heavily focused on public safety, and I'll show those projects here in just a second. We have a couple of mobility capital projects that are ready to advance, and then we have a fairly significant tranche of funding for our utility capital program ready to move forward. So the primary project in the facility bond is the next phase of our public safety training center. If you're familiar with this project, this is out at, it's co-located with Station 8 at the, near the airport. And so this is where we are building out our consolidated public safety training center that serves both our police department and our fire department, and also has opportunities for other departments as well. So projects that have already been completed. This area is our new driving track, which allows truly our police and fire to practice out there, but also our public works team, solid waste, and others in the public works team. We have a simunition shoot house, which I'll show you a picture of in just a second, and then some trailer storage. We've fully finished out the fire training tower with all of the props that the facility was originally designed to hold, but weren't included when we originally built the facility. And so now we're really focused down here on this section, which will be the shooting range facility and a classroom space. It'll be office space for some of our police activities that are not appropriate for downtown, whether that be our undercover units or our evidence and seized equipment storage will also be located here in this area. These pictures on the left side of the screen are our former facility. So you can see this was a significantly needed investment. This was the training facility that we had available for our first responders. So these are some of the pictures of the facility as it stands today with the improvements we've made. This is what we call the simunition shoot house. So this is used by both our police and fire teams to train. These are movable walls that they can reconfigure in a variety of different opportunities. There's a catwalk above that the instructors can help guide and advise our department members in their training activities. And this was recently completed. We've already used it. Chief tells me that they had a pretty significant SWAT operation that they needed to do a few weeks ago, and they prepared multi-agency effort prepared out of this facility, and it went flawlessly. So very needed facility. This is a picture of that driving track, and then we do have some additional classroom space available now as well. We're also, as part of this bond package, we're also proposing funding for all of the land acquisition that we need for the current planned fire stations and our current fire master plan. We have a proposal to build out to 14 stations. And so while we don't have funding for all of these stations, it is my interest that we get the land we need to build these stations on. So we are wanting to secure land for those opportunities here very, very quickly. We also will be making improvements to 3 of our existing stations, Station 2, Station 6, and Station 4. Station 2 is in East Temple off of Avenue H. Station 6 serves the North Industrial Park on Range Road, and Station 4 is on Apache, serving kind of central West Temple. So all of those stations are older and in need of some upgrades and investments. So we'll be doing that as part of this bond package as well. And then we'll also be replacing one of our engines. That this one is a 2008 engine, so it will move into reserve status, and we will replace it with a new frontline apparatus. We have some major maintenance items at our police department. This facility is right at the 20-year mark, so some of our major systems are in need of replacing. We need to replace both the chillers at the facility there, both original to the building that was constructed a little over 20 years ago. We have funding for expanding our yard and parking at our parks maintenance facility, which is our consolidated headquarters there off of the interstate for our parks and recreation team. So this will add some additional parking for their equipment and personnel. And then when I get my new fire trucks, when we get our new fire trucks, we'll need some additional solid waste trucks rather. We will need some additional parking at our solid waste facility to house all of our beautiful new trucks that will be coming very soon. So we will be putting some additional parking there. We have a couple of facilities that we've identified some structural concerns, the Salmons Community Center and the parking deck at the library. We are underway with structural assessments right now, and so we have some placeholder funding within this bond package to address the findings out of those studies and make sure we can have the ability to make those repairs. For mobility, there's just a few projects we have, which I'll brief on just a second. We have a lot going on in mobility, but in terms of new projects that are ready to be released for funding, there's just a few here. The Georgetown Railroad Trail Phase 1B is ready to go. We do have significant grant funding associated with this project, but there is some local funding that is both required for our match purposes, but also to enhance the amenities that we desire to see at this trail section. So this will have us complete that first main phase of the railroad trail from 5th Street to 31st Street. And then we have additional grant funding in 28, I believe, for Phase 2, which takes us from 31st Street into Belton, including the restoration of the bridge structure that goes across the river, the historic bridge. So that's very exciting. And then we also have funding for our next tranche of pavement preservation. For mill and overlay for streets, just to keep them in good maintained condition. And then finally, our solid waste complex, our Dozier wastewater treatment plant, and our city's tree farm are all served off of this private road here. And this is just needing some attention. It carries the major weight of our solid waste trucks on a daily basis. So we're just needing to do some improvements to that road that, I hindsight wish we had done with the construction of the complex, but we'll come back now and get that done so that road remains in good condition to provide service to those facilities. And then on utilities, we have the main project funded in this package is the expansion of the Temple Belton wastewater treatment plant. This is almost a $70 million total project cost. This is a plant, as you all probably know, is owned jointly between the cities of Temple and Belton. Temple is responsible for 75% of the capital cost. We own 75% of the plant. And then Belton 25%. So this is a major project, been a long time in the planning phases. And so we will begin bidding this project this month, and it should be moving towards construction by the fall.
Are they issuing bonds for theirs?
Yes. I actually think the council took their action, the Belton Council took their action last week.
How did that relationship work, the 75-25? Has that been a good partnership?
Excellent, no problems. It's been really good. We pay for operating costs based on flows, which is very close to 75-25. We true up at the end of the year. I think we're maybe 78, 23, something around there. And then capital we split because it's the ownership actually
Sure.
is 75-25. And that right now we have operation of both of our wastewater treatment plants contracted out to a third-party operator, but we are in our business plan, we have plans to bring that in-house.
Okay.
Where we
Save
have
dollars, does it save dollars?
Yes, yeah, and it also helps us. We're at the point where we are have the capacity in the organization, have the skill set and the professionalism, and we would like to see some upgrades to the operations and technology that are used at this facility. Not that the current, team doesn't do a great job, but there are some opportunities that we could see come to fruition if we had more direct operation of that facility. The next project, also a fairly significant one. So the zone will be very familiar with our southeast transmission main project, because you all have taken the lead on funding for the design and construction of several of the phases of that. Another major, and that's a 36-inch line that takes water from our water treatment plant to primarily the Synergy Park area. This is another major 36-inch transmission main project that takes water from the water treatment plant up to 317 Adams area. So this is a project that we are going to be ready to bid this fall. We're active in the last few parcels for right-of-way acquisition, and so this will be another important major main in our water distribution system, and it will connect here to the 317 ground station and ground storage and pump station, which will be constructed in the same time frame. These projects kind of go hand in hand.
What's the basic budget for that? Do you know?
I think this one is like around 8 million and the other one 17, 18.
Significant, yeah.
It's a big, it's 36-inch major, one of our major lines. Yes. Yeah. And I will get you the accurate number. That's going off memory and top of my head. And Tracy's probably, okay, you don't know, I'll go with it. It's around that, it's ballpark.
That's fine.
And then we also, as this group very, very well aware, we have recently completed a major expansion to our membrane water treatment plant at our treatment plant facilities there. So that project did two things. It, of course, added treatment capacity, which was very much needed for our growing community, but it also provided the infrastructure that was necessary to uncouple the operation of the conventional plant from the membrane plant. Even though we had two plants historically, the membrane treatment plant couldn't run independent of the conventional plant. Some of the primary technology processing was not available standalone at the membrane plant. So it was additive to capacity, but it wasn't a standalone treatment plant. So when we expanded the capacity at the membrane plant, we also added the resources that we would need to separate out so that the membrane treatment plant can now work independently of the conventional plant. And that's important for a lot of different reasons, not to mention that this facility, if you go out to our conventional plant, we have a collection of dedication plaques along the wall from the various years that we've made major improvements there. And the first one that you'll see is from 1908. So this is a very, not necessarily in its current configuration, but this old gal has been doing us well for many, many years. And because we have always needed it to be in operation, to provide water for our community, we've not been able to make some of the investments that we are very much looking forward to take this plant down in times when our water use can be totally supported by the membrane plant, and we can do some of the major improvements that are needed here. This project in particular is going to be adding a settling basin and a belt press to help us manage our sludge and help these facilities here function to their intended capacity. This is just under a 30 million gallon treatment plant. And so if we don't have some of these things in place, that rated capacity, we can't achieve in practicality. So this is an important, and this is just one in a series of projects that we will see come forward here in the next years as we're able to have that flexibility to take this plant off and do some of the major work that's needed. This is you all are familiar with this project because this is jointly funded between the RZ and the utility fund. This is the upsizing for the wastewater line for Site 64. We have the funding that will be allocated from the utility revenue fund here in this bond package. And then we also have the rehabilitation of the FM 2483 elevated storage tank. This is the tank that's right by Lake Felton High School. And so we're going to take the opportunity that as this tank is in just its regular rehab cycle, we're going to take the opportunity to have a little fun with the Lake Felton students and do a really cool design on this tank to kind of celebrate the partnership between the city of Temple and Lake Felton and really kind of highlight the identity there. We have a ongoing upgrade program where we dedicate $2 million each cycle for water line upgrades. And then as part of our goals to reduce our sanitary sewer overflow, we have and just maintain our wastewater system, we have a $1 million allocation towards our manhole rehabilitation program scheduled in this package as well. And so that's what's coming in our next bond issuance. Obviously, there's quite a few projects that are underway. Just a few quick updates. Outer Loop West Phase 1. So the next phase that is south of Adams is well underway, should be done in September. Kegley is scheduled to be done in November. So I know everyone is excited about that. Avenue G pump station is almost done. It should be done early April. I believe we did a major changeover in the last couple of weeks from the old pumps to the new pumps, and it was very much a team effort, and it went well. We were able to maintain water pressure in the system because this, y'all will recall, this is a major hub for water for our community and sends water to Synergy Park, which is why I know it's of note, especially for our industrial development. But it also provides service to the hospital. So, losing pressure, I think Kenton and his team, in terms of operating the system, did a great job. I think he was glued to his monitor that whole day, but we were able to make it through well. And then we are kicking off very soon Hartrick Bluff Road Improvements Phase 1, which will go from Waters Dairy to 93. So that should start this summer. And let's see if I have, and Poison Oak will be the last one that I end with, which is also in that same time frame, summer of this year. So while there's not a ton of new projects on that list for mobility, there's still projects that we've already issued the bonds for that are coming to fruition here in the next few months, or kicking off in the next few months. Of course, we've got North Pea Ridge and South Pea Ridge. We've got roads shut down everywhere. We do it for fun.
Tracy, have you been given any guidance on where you think those bonds are gonna bid?
I have some estimates, but I can't quote the exact rate right now. But Dan Wegmiller and his staff, they work on those. Do you have a clue?
No, that's what I was asking.
No, I think, Tyler, I can look what they estimated in the mid 4 point. I think they're estimating 4.5.
One other project that I probably should note that I forgot to mention is the Synergy Park well is underway with the final piece of the work there, the site work. And so I think the last estimate I saw was it's about 6 months to completion, to full completion. And we'll go back to the underground conservation district for our full permitting of that. But again, that is a significant project for us that is funded through one of our economic development partners. As a reminder, we're designing that as both a traditional production well, but also to be able to serve as a aquifer storage and recovery injection well. And so that is going to be a great project for our community. We have some legislation that we've been able to have our delegation support that would allow us to use reclaimed water in that facility as well, which would just be additive to the overall benefit of that project. But it is designed to have a potable line from our treatment plant to the well injection well, so that we can inject potable water from our plant. Again, in times like March, here we are. We have a lot more capacity for treatment than we're using in a dynamic day-by-day basis. So we can enhance our treatment capacity during lower use times and store that water for summer or other high use times, especially for our industrial partners there in Synergy Park. But not just them, but certainly low-hanging fruit.
Thank you for the great update. Lot going on. We have any questions? Not, that concludes our agenda, other than next meeting, just now to be April 23rd. People being here.